Hi friends, Zoey here, and today I'm super excited to talk to you because it's another episode of Ask Zoey. So today's question comes from our friend Ingrid, and Ingrid had asked me what were my favorite books or what books changed my life and how do I retain information from all the books that I do read. If you guys have been following along for a long time, you know that I love books and I love reading, and I especially love listening to books on Audible. I probably listen to one book a week, so I decided to make this video on 5 books that have changed my life. It was super hard to narrow down this list, but these 5 books really resonated with me, although there are so many others who I feel bad didn't make the cut because they definitely helped me in different areas. But these are 5 books that I find that I would probably be consistently recommending to people and like pushing the books on them. So yeah, let's get started. The first book that I want to talk to you guys about today is a book that came to me in my life at the perfect time. I found that quite often this does happen. I almost feel like books kind of find you rather than you finding them. So this book is called Mind Power Into the 21st Century, and it is by John Kehoe. So this book was given to me by one of my dad's best friends named Bill, and he gave me this book the eve before I left on my Euro trip. So it was a very pivotal point in my life where I really just truly needed this book to grace its presence and all of its teachings on me. So this book was a fairly easy read, but extremely inspiring, and I will continue to reread this book for my entire life. So I actually think it's very sweet because there's a little note in here to my friend Landon from his dad Bill, and it says, "Dare to dream, Landon, dare to dream. May this book help all your dreams come true. Love, Dad." So sweet. I hope they don't mind me sharing. And hi guys, if you're watching, this book was exactly what I needed at the exact time in my life. I'm going to link a video to my Euro trip below because I feel like this book definitely influenced my whole trip. It made me realize how powerful the act of positive thinking and manifesting and meditation and just focusing on your thoughts can really grant you the best life experiences that you can have. I had the most incredible Euro trip, and I'm sure I would have had a phenomenal time regardless of whether this book came into my life or not, but this book allowed me to become a lot more of a spiritual person. It was one of the first books that I read that, actually no, probably was the first book that I read about positive thinking, and since then I've come to read so many others, but this one still sticks with me. It's powerful, its teachings are simple enough to apply right then and there, and yeah, I was able to manifest some pretty crazy and some pretty cool experiences on my Euro trip. And since then, I've continued to grant myself my dream life, so I'm working on it every single day. This book is definitely one that everyone needs to read. So next, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. So this book was recommended to me by my friend Max. It was one of the first audiobooks that I listened to, and I absolutely loved it. The thing I love the most about this book is that Tim Ferriss, well, first of all, he's awesome. I know I've spoken about him before. He's unreal, and he's super inspiring and just a very interesting person. But the reason why I have this book on this list is because this is a book I will consistently recommend to people who desire to live unconventional lives, so not living the 9-to-5 work week. And Tim Ferriss just shows you how possible it is if you have a dream or an aspiration or a business idea or a venture, that you can truly just do it. He goes through all the steps in this book, like how to execute what he did and to grant himself a 4-hour work week and live in Costa Rica and just travel and do all sorts of things. And I know there's so many other business books out there that are like this and more so coming about these days. But this one, it stuck with me, and it obviously made me a huge Tim Ferriss fan. But it put the idea of a 4-hour work week into my head, and I will never get that idea out until it happens. So I don't know what my, business adventure is going to be one day, but I feel like my life will not be complete until I somehow find myself working a 4-hour work week one day, and from Bali or Costa Rica or something awesome. Thanks for inspiring me, Tim Ferriss, and if you guys feel like you're entrepreneurs at heart, this book is definitely one for you to read. So the next book, I know I've also mentioned this one a few times before, and that's Screw It, Let's Do It by Richard Branson. So this book is magic, okay? Richard Branson is so adventurous and so inspiring. We all know that he's super successful, but just his approach to life is inspiring. The way that he's adventurous, always willing to give an extra helping hand, and he's super creative. I could just keep going on and on about Richard Branson, but this book really inspires you to just grab life, like, by the horns and just do as many awesome things as you can, and hopefully one day that your passions and your inspirations will work with your job and you can just create your own dream life for yourself. So read this book. It's super inspiring. Like I mentioned, it's like business, but it's also his adventurous approach to life, and it works together to create the perfect, most inspiring read. So the next book I want to mention is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. So for any of you who haven't read this book, pick it up right now because it's amazing, especially if you find yourself to be a creative person. Because when you're creative, for a lot of us, it can be a little bit frustrating trying to figure out how the one thing that you're most passionate about, how to create a life out of it, how to get paid for it, how to keep fueling your creativity and have an outlet. So this book really inspired me to keep going with my YouTube channel and just keep pushing forward, and eventually big things will start to happen for you. And the little things are starting to happen for me now in regards to my YouTube channel, but at the beginning it was fun for me, so I wasn't going to necessarily stop doing YouTube, but it was hard to see, are things going to happen? You find yourself with those little doubts in your mind, but Elizabeth Gilbert really pushes you to keep pursuing your creative endeavors, and there's no way that things won't work out for you if you're passionate and enthusiastic and positive about what you're putting out into the world. Another aspect of this book I really liked, because I've been a fan of her since Eat, Pray, Love, is that she spoke about her journey and how she was waiting tables, and on her notepad that she had for taking orders, she'd write down different characteristics of people or different little things that inspired her every single day, and she'd go home and she'd take what she learned from that day and put it into her creative outlet, which was writing. So there's no reason why any of you out there can't pursue your creative endeavors, no matter what your job is. And this book really inspires you to do so. So I definitely recommend picking it up if you're a creative being. So the next book I want to talk about is another super inspirational and motivational one. And this is one that I've recently picked up. And this is You Are Baddest by Jen Sincero. So I know that I mentioned that in my April favorites video, but since then I've read the book or listened to it another time. So You Are Baddest by Jen Sincero is just amazing. It is super inspirational, motivational to just grab a hold of your life and just do all the things that you want to do. She really brightens your spirits, and like I mentioned in my April favorites video, I listened to her every single morning and it really helped me create a positive day. So it's not like I woke up feeling sad or anything, but I just woke up like, oh, it's any other day. But then after listening to Jen, I'm like, no, today is the day for awesome things to happen. And I felt more inspired to go out there and just make the most of my days. This book also helped me deal with failed friendships and understanding that it's okay to let go of certain people in your life, because you don't need anybody in your life who's going to weigh you down. You don't need anybody who brings negativity into your life. All you need is to surround yourself with positive and inspiring people, and then you will be positive and aspire to be the best you that you can be. So I definitely recommend picking this book up or listening to it on Audible. Like I said, she's very personable and easy to listen to. It's an amazing read. And I could probably sit here for, like hours talking to you about books, but I should probably leave it at that and leave it at those books. For Ingrid's other question in regards to how do I retain information, so oftentimes I will reread books. I reread books all the time. Like I mentioned to you, I've just read listened to Jen Sincero's You Are Badass 4 or 5 times in a row now, and it's amazing. I definitely recommend getting Audible if you don't have Audible yet. I have a subscription where I get 1 credit or like 1 book a month, and then from there I will choose to maybe buy an extra one, or you can buy little packages with like 3 extra credits, things like that. So I definitely recommend getting Audible if you don't have it yet. And another way that I retain information is by writing interesting concepts or interesting stories in my journal. So if I learn something from a book, I will write down, this is what I learned from this book, and this is how I feel like it really crosses paths with my life, and this is what I'm going to pursue now because of it. Another way is when I'm reading a book and I don't understand something, I will reread it until I do understand, or I will Google it. And the same goes for with words. If I come across a word that I think is interesting and that I would like to use, or a book that I'm unfamiliar with or have no idea what it means, I will pull out my phone right then and there or go on the computer and find out what that word means. And then I will make a conscious effort to use it in my everyday speech so that I can better understand it. So yeah, I hope that you guys like this video, and I hope that you're inspired to check out some of these books if you haven't already. I will definitely link all of them down below, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and share with me your favorite books. I'd love to know what they are. I'm always looking for recommendations. Don't forget, if you have any questions, #AskZoey, and I'll be happy to answer them in a video for you. And I hope that you guys are having a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!